Quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting. Quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting.
Stop saying quiet quitting. And no, it's not because you should work yourself to death. Hear me out. Here's what you and your fellow employees think quiet quitting means. Setting boundaries, not going above and beyond what your job description says, disconnecting outside work hours, all the stuff that should be considered just doing your job. Here's what your employer thinks quiet quitting means. Not being available to do the work that needs to be done outside of work hours. Not taking your career seriously. Slacking off. See where I'm going with this? Quiet quitting needs to be a term reserved for people actually trying to quit quietly. This is how the people who are working against you are going to see it anyway. Doing your job within the agreed specifications needs a term that more strongly emphasizes the job getting done and doesn't promote the falsehood that the intent is to quit. This can be anything, and I know I'm running a really tiny YouTube channel, but here's my contribution. Operating within obligation. I feel this perfectly describes what a lot of people do at their jobs anyway. I mean, think about it. Most people bugger off after they've done their assignments, and by definition, they've done their job. And fulfilling the tasks expected of you as defined by the contract that you signed when you joined the company that you're working at should not be conflated with quitting. Back in my day, it was known as coasting along.
When you bring somebody in that slams shut their laptop at 5 o'clock, you're introducing a cancer into your culture.
But does it really? As I've said before, I believe that just doing your job and nothing more is what a lot of people are doing anyway. And those people tend to keep their jobs. Therefore, we can conclude that if you're happy with your income level and you're happy doing what you do at your job indefinitely, your chosen career path is perfectly fine. What you won't get, though, is any sort of promotion or big raise, which brings me to my next point. On the opposite end of the work ethic spectrum is hustle culture, and if we're being pedantic, toxic work hustle culture. If you're shooting for the stars or at least have dreams of affluence and wealth, then there is the temptation to do all the crunching, to do all the work all the time, sacrificing social life, family, and personal time, all in the name of trying to climb that corporate ladder. This is fine as long as it gets rewarded. The problem is when employers expect hustle work ethic from everybody. What's the point in working yourself to death if you don't get paid to do so? In a well-run, well-managed company, nobody has to work outside of the boundaries of their job description and responsibilities. If a single person is required to do so outside of the occasional crunch or work emergency, the team is understaffed. When there's a global corporate culture that expects everybody to go above and beyond, there's a systemic cancer of corporate greed, bad management, and dishonesty. When you hire people with the mutual understanding that they have to work 12 hours a day, at least there's an honest agreement on what constitutes just doing your job. Just don't pretend that you're offering a 9-to-5 job as an employer, claim there's a great work-life balance, and go on to demand 80-hour work weeks from everybody without rewarding it. So what's my point and what can we do about it? The term is, as it's used currently, a way for executives in positions of power to poo-poo the work ethic of, those darn Gen Z kids, and it only serves to misrepresent what's really the desire to just do your job and not get shit for standing up to providing time and labor for free. It would be nice to see something more representative replace the term quiet quitting. More importantly, people need to stand up against unreasonable demands at work. Employers need to understand that expecting people to give everything needs to be done with a carrot and not a stick, unless the goal is to increase turnover and run everything into the ground long term. And finally, millennials and Gen Z folks need to stop coming up with terms that undermine what are otherwise really great causes that'll progress our society. That's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching, and until next time, don't get exploited at work.